Hello and welcome to episode 10, and in this episode I will attempt to pass the SATA controller to OpenMediaVault in a way that it does not break Proxmox or stop Proxmox's ability to monitor sensors. Now I have not done this before and I am recording everything on the go. So if you would like to follow along, I highly advise that you watch the video till the end to see what mistakes I make and if I'm able to fix them. The goal with passing the SATA controller to OpenMediaVault is to allow it to control the drives more efficiently and kind of imitate bare metal NAS setup. Now my home lab machine is Aoostar WTR Pro, and the Aoostar WTR Pro has a problem, and this problem is that it uses AMD Ryzen 5 5825U CPU, and the CPU is a mobile CPU, which is like usually used in laptops and such. And the problem is that Aoostar WTR Pro does not have a discrete SATA controller. So the hard drives in these hard drive bays are controlled with the CPU's onboard SATA controller. And in this case, as far as I understand, that same controller is also responsible of monitoring CPU temperatures and some other sensor data as well. So if I pass this SATA controller to OpenMediaVault incorrectly, Proxmox will lose access to CPU temperatures, which will in the end result in Proxmox capping my CPU clock at around 2 GHz, which I don't want to happen. Now again, I haven't done this before and this is a little bit of gray area for me. So I have read a little bit from PV Proxmox, their own documentation. I have found some information on the internet with specific cases of like pertaining to Aoostar WTR Pro, and I think I'm ready to try it. So it is very important to do these steps correctly and to make sure that I am not passing anything important and necessary for Proxmox to OpenMediaVault, as it might result in Proxmox glitching and me ruining my home lab. So the first thing I will do is ls PCI, and this will show me all the PCI devices that I have here. And the last one is device ID 5, 00, and then 0.1, and this is shown as SATA controller, advanced micro AMD, yada yada. Before I populated my hard drive base, I did not see this line, so this only appeared after the hard drives were plugged in. Next, I'm going to do ls-l /dev/disk/bypath. And here, if we look at the device ID 500.1, 500.1, and we will see that the only drives that are linked, let's say controlled by this device, are SDA and SDB, and my NVMe is controlled with a different controller. This is very important because if my NVMe were to be controlled with this SATA controller as well, well, if my Proxmox, let's say, was on the same controller and I were to pass it to OpenMediaVault, Proxmox would lose access to it and I would be probably nuking my home lab. Let's now do lsblk. And this shows me my drives, and I can see my two SDA and SDB are indeed the IOMMU 14 terabyte hard drives, and mount point is empty. This is also important. This means that it is not currently mounted in Proxmox anywhere to the file system. Now I'll do dmask and then grep IOMMU related information. Now IOMMU stands for Input Output Memory Management Unit. This is even grayer to me. So this is how I understand this. My PCIe controllers are broken into different Input Output Management Unit groups. And these groups are supposed to be isolated from each other. So what this means is if I pass the group 22 with this PCIe device ID to OpenMediaVault, OpenMediaVault will be able to access the RAM that is supposed to be used by this group alone, so it should not be messing with anything that is to be used by Proxmox. And according to their own guide, it is very important to have, if you have like Intel CPU, Intel IOMMU on, and with AMD CPUs, IOMMU is enabled by default. Now in this forum, there's a big discussion, part of which I do not understand, but from what I have read, it is kind of important to have IOMMU in pass-through mode. And this is also listed in the Proxmox's documentation as well. And according to Proxmox, if your hardware supports IOMMU pass-through mode, enabling this by this mode might increase performance. This is because VMs then bypass the default DMA translation normally performed by the hypervisor and instead pass DMA requests directly to the hardware IOMMU. Now, before I do that, because currently it is not in PT pass-through mode, because here in the first line it says translated. If the PT were to be enabled, I think I was supposed to see here pass-through. Also, I am supposed to be able to see the IOMMU equals PT if I run this command, proc cmd line, which I do not see here. And another place to check is actually grub itself. So I'm just going to copy and paste this line instead of typing it in. Currently there is only quiet in here, and to enable it I'm supposed to add IOMMU equals PT here, but I'm not gonna do it yet, and before that I'm gonna continue with some of my checks just to make sure that everything will work appropriately. Now another thing that I am supposed to check is ls kernel to make sure that my group is isolated. -r and then grep 05:00.1. Okay, I do not see anything else in here, which is good. And from here as well, like group 22 should be fine. Now, once again, before I proceed, I have found this GitHub page, and in their case, it is again, we are talking about the same machine here. And just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and use this script as well to see if I see anything differently than they did. But before I do that, I believe I need to install these tools, USB utils and PCI utils. So let's go ahead, install already to the newest version, apt install PCI utils. Okay. And let's copy this. Oh, I have already copied it. Let's run. I think I have it here. Yeah, let's run this. All right, the same thing that I kinda saw about other commands. And if you look closely, the same device in here, 5, let's call it device 5, right, also has non-essential instruments. So I'm guessing this is the portion that is responsible of monitoring sensors and etc. And if I pass only 5.0.1 as the SATA controller, I should be fine. Now let's go ahead and enable pass-through mode. Stu nano /etc default grub. And let's change this line quiet and add IOMMU equals PT, because according to this user, the only thing that I am required to add is IOMMU equals pass-through, as AMD IOMMU is enabled by default. Let's see how it goes. IOMMU equals PT, Control X, yes. And I need to update grub and then reboot. And reboot. Okay, WTR Pro restarted, and hopefully if I do, hopefully if I do cat/proc /cmd line, I should be able to see IOMMU PT. All right. Now, before I pass through the PCIe controller, I need to stop this VM because it should not be done when the VM is hot. All right, VM is off, and I go into hardware, add, and I choose PCIe device, all device, and I will use SATA controller. And I will make sure that I'm not choosing all functions because passing through all functions, where was it? Yeah, when enabling all functions, that passes through every function of device 5.0 in their cases, right? Which means also the portion that is responsible of monitoring the temperatures and such. Let's do I have anything in advance that I understand? Nope. Let's add. And let's start the machine and see what happens. Okay, the machine is back up and running, and let's restart and show. Got it. And see if I have. Okay, I seem to still be able to see the temperature. Okay. Storage. Yeah, I no longer see the hard drives SATA controller. Before I was able to, and I don't see it at the moment because Proxmox no longer controls the PCIe controller, the SATA controller. What else can I see in the other settings? NVMe, PCIe, temperatures, all seem to be okay. And the controller, I still see it in here in the list, but it is probably not being controlled by Proxmox anymore. If I go back and let's go to Pluto, let's cut /proc CPU info. Oh, okay, I will have to grab this. So with this, I am trying to ascertain if the CPU is clocked at a lower speed. Let's do watch -n every 1 second, and then grep, and let's do -i, so it doesn't matter if it's capital or lowercase. CPU hertz. So I do see 4500 and etc. So it seems to be not being throttled. All right. It might have actually been a success, and I am quite happy about it. But in my case, I have only 2 hard drives in this 4-base system, and the success rate with 2 drives seems to be high, but everybody is wondering if it works with 4 SATA drives. I don't have 4 drives, but I have a third drive somewhere, which is 8 terabytes. I might as well plug it in and see what happens. Okay, I added the third drive and the machine is back up and running. Once again, WTR Pro does not have hot swappable base, so I need to shut it down before I add or remove any hard drives. And let's refresh. I can still see CPU temperatures, and they do indeed change. Let's quickly just go through the tabs to see if there are any changes. Okay. So now I see my 8 terabyte drive in here as well, and I see it with Proxmox because then I'm guessing if I do LSPCI, let's try it. I will see a new group SATA controller, 2 of them, yeah, like the others did. And if I pass the 5.0 as well, then I will probably lose CPU temperatures. I might as well try to do that, but before that I will off camera do all the previous steps just to make sure that I am not gonna mess anything else. Okay, it seems to be that the 8 terabyte is now in group 21. Yeah, I will, if I pass it through, I will probably lose CPU temperatures, but let's try it. So let's shut down Sharon machine. All right, it is off. Hardware, add PCIe, once again, raw device. And then let's do group 21. Was that? Yeah, 5.00. Add. And can I already check it? Or maybe it will take effect after reboot. Let's reboot and see what happens. Machine restarted. Let me just refresh again just to make sure. And let's go here, refresh the page. Well, I still see the CPU temperatures. 66.75. Let's see if it changes. No. Yep, CPU temperature seems to be stuck. Storage. I don't see the 8 terabyte here anymore. Network. Was it in hardware? What about other temperatures? Yeah, they seem to be stuck as well. So I guess this answers the question. If you pass through both of the SATA controllers from the same device, in my case it was device ID 5, then I no longer have CPU access. And let me, as the last step, do cut proc CPU info. Oh, let's do the whole grep thingy. And I no longer see it going higher than 2300. So yeah, my CPU seems to be throttled down now. All right, I guess I'm gonna just stop this Charon machine. Stop, and then remove the SATA controller that I added recently. So I will go here, PCIe, and I will find the group 5.0, and I will remove it. And I will restart the WTR Pro, reboot. Reboot completed. Let's go back into Proxmox, refresh. 60.75, and we see the CPU temperature changing. If we go into hardware, we will now see both of them. Yeah, that's okay. Where was it? The temperatures. Yeah, these are different as well. And in the storage section, we should see the 8 terabytes. All right, we answered the question. So WTR Pro is not an ideal machine if you want to do Proxmox and then virtualize the NAS portion. It would be totally fine if I were to install TrueNAS or Unraid directly without Proxmox, because then they would have access to both the sensors and the drives at the same time. As the last step, let me go to, what was the proxy? I think it was NAS as well. That's my homelabjourney.com. My password. And let's see if I see the storage disks. Yep, I see HDB and SDC, my 14 terabyte drives. I also see the boot drive, which is on top of the NVMe. smart. Do I see anything in smart? Yep. So OpenMediaVault can get the smart information from the SATA controller, temperatures and all. That is excellent, and it cannot do the same for the NVMe because again NVMe is not being controlled by OMV. All right, I'm happy. It worked without major issues, and my assumption that I would be okay with 2 drives worked out. And this means I can continue with setting up my NAS in the following videos. All right, this is my home lab journey so far. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next one.